Eugenie Sage.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Please take a call on the review of the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment, because that office is an independent environmental watchdog for this Parliament and the public. And with a total of only 20 staff and a budget of around $2.62 million, it's the smallest of the offices of Parliament. And it's very cost effective, and the Green Party would like to see it better resourced so that it can undertake more investigations of the quality that it has done recently into a wide range of environmental processes, issues and agencies. And as Te Roroa Flavel noted, its mission is to maintain or improve the quality of New Zealand's environment by providing robust, independent advice that influences decisions. Certainly the Parliamentary Commissioner is providing robust advice and quality reports. The problem is the government isn't listening. And the Commissioner has provided quite extensive advice on the government's changes to the Resource Management Act, and the Parliamentary Commissioner said that that Act should not become an Economic Development Act, which of course is what the government is proposing with its changes to the heart of the Act, the purpose and principles in Part 2, by stripping out some of those key environmental principles. The Parliamentary Commissioner's advice was not to do that, yet the government has not taken that off the table. And then we see in 2011 the Parliamentary Commissioner did a very comprehensive investigation into the use of 1080. She confirmed how little DOC was doing in terms of controlling animal pests on the conservation estate. DOC spent last year only $18 million on controlling rats, stoats, possums and other animal pests. It controls those pests on only 1/8 of public conservation lands. That shows that this government is not serious about protecting our native plants, wildlife and our wild landscapes, even though we have an extinction crisis in New Zealand. The Green Party values our native plants and wildlife. It would invest in doing predator control over a much larger area of conservation land. The other area where the Parliamentary Commissioner is not succeeding in its mission because the government has blocked its ears is in water quality. Last November, the PCE did a very comprehensive report on land use and nutrient pollution. It was a big report, it was underpinned by substantial research by Motu Research and others, and it showed the very strong link between land use change and water pollution. The fact that where you're getting this extensive change from forestry, from dryland farming to more intensive agriculture like dairying, you get more water pollution. And that report showed that the amount of nitrogen which was entering rivers every year in most regions would continue to increase. The Green Party wants rivers that we can swim in. Yet what has the government done with this major report from the PCE, which shows that in my own region of Canterbury, that the burden of nutrients on Canterbury's rivers, lakes and streams would increase by 45% between 1996 and 2020. What has the government done? It hasn't come out with strong limits on nutrients in its proposed changes to the National Policy Statement on Freshwater. No, it's come out with very weak limits. So you've got New Zealand's eminent freshwater scientists backing up what the PCE was saying in her report, saying that we needed to set much tighter limits on nitrate, because otherwise we would end up with rivers that had more nitrate in them than the 8 worst rivers in the OECD. We'd end up with more nitrate than is found in the Yangtze River in China. And yet, what did the Minister say? The Freshwater Sciences Society, New Zealand's leading freshwater scientist, was simply wrong when they highlighted that we were going down the track of China and the Yangtze River. Mr Speaker, Mr Chair, we in the Green Party value freshwater. We want strong rules for land use management so that we are not seeing nutrients sliding off the land into our aquifers, into our rivers. We want a charge on the commercial use of water for irrigation. We would implement the recommendations of the Parliamentary Commissioner. We would take seriously her report showing the burden which allowing just increased expansion of dairying is putting on our rivers. The government needs to look much more closely at the advice in the Parliamentary Commissioner's reports. It needs to avoid burdening our environment with the debt that it's creating through its standoff land use controls.
Mr. Chair. Brendan Horan.
Thank you, sir. I take a call on the